I'm Anna. Today I'm going to be taking you through a stretch and balance warm-up. Throughout this exercise, I would really like to stress that through all of these poses, make sure you're never going past the point of discomfort. If you're in pain, you need to either come out of the pose or go to one of the lesser modifications because you can really hurt yourself if you're not careful with all of these stretches. Okay, another thing I would like to say is if you are enjoying how you're feeling in one of these stretches, then you can go ahead and pause the video and stay in it longer. As well as if you need to stop it and take a drink, that's totally fine too. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Our first exercise, we're just going to be moving back and forth, getting the heart rate up a little bit. So just a side step and a tap. Awesome, great job. As you're doing this, go ahead and extend your left arm out in front of you, and with your right arm, go ahead and put your fingers back. So your palm should be facing outward, and your fingers should be up. Great. Awesome. Go ahead and switch sides. So now point your fingers down. Same thing, holding it back with your right. Make sure we're moving on our feet. Again, getting that heart rate up, getting that blood flowing. Okay, go ahead and switch to your right arm. So right arm out, fully extended, get those fingers up, and pull back with the other hand. Doing great. As we're doing this, go ahead and make sure that your posture is nice and upright. Go ahead and switch, point fingers down. Okay, if you're getting tired of this back and forth motion, you can go ahead and switch to high knees if you would rather. Okay, go ahead, allow your arms to drop, shake them out. Bring your left arm across the body. Get a nice stretch in that shoulder. As you're doing this, make sure that you don't have your arm that's holding your other arm back against the joint, so your elbow. That can be dangerous. You can either be in front of it or behind it. Both of them are good. Just don't have it right on your elbow. Shake it out. Go ahead and switch to that right side. Awesome. Make sure that our knees keep moving. Make sure we're breathing through it, checking in with our posture every now and then. You're doing great. Okay, go ahead, drop arms, shake them out again. Go ahead and bring the arm behind the head. If it's comfortable for you, go ahead and grab your elbow. If that's not comfortable, however, you can grab your hands. Just pull it a little bit more. You're doing great. Okay, go ahead, drop that. Shake it out, and you go ahead and grab that left arm. Same thing. If it's comfortable for you to grab that elbow, go ahead and do that. If not, that's totally fine. Doing great. We're almost done. We're at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. So that's a good stretch of our arms. Our lower body should feel nice and warm. We should feel that blood moving already. We're going to go into our first flow here. So this one we're going to start in mountain pose. So go ahead, bring your feet together and allow your palms to face out. Drop your shoulder blades away from your ears. See if you can get some nice space. While you're doing this, try and bring your shoulder blades together in the back. You should feel a nice stretch in your chest. If you're not feeling the stretch here, you can always bring your hands together. See if you can get a little bit more stretch in those shoulder blades by putting pressure on those hands up front. Take a minute to just breathe. As you breathe, you can feel how your breath affects your body. Feel your chest rise and fall. See if we can keep those shoulders in the same place, however. Okay? Go ahead, shake it out. From there, we're going to go into our first yoga pose, which will be our forest pose. So for this, you're going to be on one leg. Go ahead and bring your right leg up. You can start it at your ankle. See if you're comfortable there. If you would like a little bit more of a stretch, bring it up to your knee. And if you're still not feeling it yet, you can bring it up to your inner thigh. If you would like to feel a little bit more balanced, I find that it's easier for me if I bring my hands together in the middle of my chest. If that's not comfortable, you can always bring them out to the side, turn them in or out. If we were in a group yoga class, I would have you join hands with your partner, and this is called forest instead of tree pose. Okay, go ahead and bring it down. Drop the leg. The next one we're going to be doing is a one-legged sit and reach. So left leg, go ahead, keep it on the ground, and the right leg, go ahead and extend forward. I'll give you a side angle so it's a bit better. Reach forward with that left arm and your right leg back. To increase the intensity, you can go more up and down, or to decrease the intensity, you go more up and down. To increase the intensity, you go a little bit further forward. Make sure you're keeping a nice bend in that knee. Make sure we're breathing, you're doing great. Go ahead and bring it back up. Our next pose is going to be a side lunge. So go ahead and show your further than shoulder width apart and drop into your right knee, keeping it inside of your toe and make sure your knee does not come over the front of your toe. You should feel a nice stretch on the interior of your thigh. Again, make sure we're breathing. If you would like to increase the intensity, you can kick out that left leg a little bit further and drop lower into it. To decrease the intensity, you can come further upright. Awesome, you're doing great. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, come back up into that upright position. We're going to start with our forest pose on our right leg. So once again, if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and start at your ankle. Take a minute there, bring it up to your knee, and then if comfortable, bring it up to that inner thigh. Once again, I like to bring it right in the center. It helps me feel more balanced, but if it's more for you, you can always bring those hands out or straight out is also totally good. Make sure we're breathing. Make sure we're keeping a nice upright pose. If you wiggle and wobble a little bit, that's totally okay. Okay, and we're at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, great job. Next one, we will be doing our sit and reach. So right foot down, take that left foot back, and reach forward. Once again, let me give you that side profile. Awesome, doing great. If you find that you need to come back up and tap that toe just so you can catch your balance, totally good. And we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Go ahead, we're going to drop into that side lunge one more time. So again, making sure that that knee isn't coming inside of your toe, and that it's not coming in front of it either. To increase the intensity, you can always kick that right leg further out. Again, making sure we're being very careful with that toe and that knee. You're doing great. We're at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, bring it up and together. So the next flow that we're going to go through is mostly focused on warrior. So we'll start with that base position. So this is actually warrior 1. So have your right leg is at a nice parallel. Your left leg is at a nice parallel. Your right leg is straight forward in front of you and come into a nice lunge. For this warrior 1, go ahead and bring your arms together or your hands together in front of you and just feel your center. If you would like to increase the intensity of this exercise, go ahead and send your arms up and behind your head. You should feel a nice stretch in your lower back, as well as the middle of your back. Depending on how far you go, you can also get a nice stretch in your shoulders. Awesome. Go ahead and bring it together, forward. Now we'll open up into warrior 2. So go ahead and bring those hands apart. Get those shoulders nice and flat. If you'd like to increase the intensity for this one, try and crank those shoulders a little bit more. Get them a little more flat and drop lower into that lunge. As we go through here, go ahead and allow that left arm to drop and the right arm to come over your shoulder. You should feel a nice stretch all up your side. Great job. Check in with your feet. Make sure you still have a nice bend in your front leg and a nice straight back leg. From here, go ahead and windmill your hands forward. Bring your right hand to your ankle and your left hand straight up. Again, you should feel a nice stretch in your hips. And just take a minute to breathe here. You're doing great. Go ahead and bring your hands on both sides now. Let that back toe turn to face straight forward. And from here, go ahead and drop down onto your knee. Again, you should feel a nice stretch all in your hips. If you are not comfortable with allowing yourself to come straight up with no support, you can always keep your hands next to you as a little bit more support, be that for strength or be that you don't feel balanced. If you'd like to increase the intensity, go ahead and kick that knee further back and sink further into the stretch. Okay, take another breath here. Go ahead and push up into that lunge position, but allow your right leg now to come straight back into play. Take a minute here, and with your next inhale, go ahead and push into downward facing dog. For this one, you should feel a nice stretch in your calves, as well as in your hips and your glutes. If you'd like to increase the intensity of this exercise, go ahead and walk your feet towards your hands. Take a couple of minutes to breathe here. And then when you're ready, on your exhale, go ahead and drop into seal position. So allow those hips to drop and your chest to come straight up. Okay, doing great. Make sure we're breathing in here. Great job. From here, we're going to go into Pigeon Pose. So go ahead and bring your right, push into a tabletop position. Bring your right leg forward and drop into a seated position. If we'd like to increase the intensity of this exercise, bring your foot closer to your hip. But if you just start here, it's totally fine. I like to stretch at this position better. I feel that it better hits my glutes as well as my hips. Take a moment to just breathe. Awesome. Go ahead. Push out of this position again, coming to that tabletop. And from here, we're going to go back to our standing position. Now we're going to do the same flow, but we're going to do it on our opposite leg. So go ahead and start with that left foot forward, right foot back. Get it nice and parallel to the back of your mat. And we're just going to start again in that warrior one position. Make sure we're breathing. Great job. If you would like to, go ahead and send that hand up over the head. Great job. Okay, go ahead and come down, open up into warrior two. Again, check in with your posture here. See if we can drop those shoulders down and away from our ears. Get a nice open chest. Go ahead and drop into that reverse warrior, allowing that right arm to drop and the left arm to come over your head. Make sure we're breathing. Make sure we're keeping a nice bend in that front knee. Great job. Okay, go ahead and windmill forward, allowing that left arm to come to your ankle and your right arm to stay straight up. If you find that this isn't comfortable, you can come up and allow your elbow to rest on your knee. And again, you can bring that hand up over your head and stretch your obliques again. Great job. Okay, from here, we're going to drop into that deep lunge again. Hands on both sides of your feet. Allow that back knee to drop. If you're comfortable, go ahead and bring your hands off the mat and allow yourself to just sink into this pose. See if you can allow yourself to breathe and loosen up as you breathe. I find it really useful to use my inhale as my relaxation, and then my exhale, I try and figure out what is still stress. Okay, go ahead and bring those hands back to the mat if they weren't already, and drop into that plank pose, and push up into downward facing dog. Great job. Make sure you're breathing. From there, go ahead and drop into snake or seal. Allow those feet to come unfurled and get a nice bend in the back. Again, take a minute to breathe here. Doing great. Go ahead and push into that tabletop position and then come forward into pigeon. Again, if you would like, there's a nice 45-degree, or if you would like to increase the intensity, you can drop it closer to your hip, whatever is more comfortable for you. And if you find that you need to give yourself some more support on this, I always encourage to put your hands down on the mat if that's what's more comfortable for you. Take a couple more breaths here, and go ahead and push back up into that tabletop position. Okay, so that was our second flow. Our third flow is going to start now. We're going to start it with cat-cow. So allow your belly to drop, that spine to round, and your shoulder blades to come apart. Dropping into that cow position, go ahead and look up. And then as you exhale, go ahead and push up into cat. So allow those shoulder blades to come apart and your spine to round up towards the roof. Great job. And then go ahead and drop with your inhale. You're doing great. For this one, go ahead and just follow your breath. You don't have to follow me at all. Just follow your breathing patterns. Going up into cat on the exhale and breathing in into cow with your inhale. Do one more cycle of breaths here. And then go ahead and allow those toes to curl under and push up into downward facing dog. Again, if you would like to increase the intensity of this exercise, you can always walk your feet towards your hands. If not, you can stay where you are. Wherever's comfortable, we're just trying to get those heels towards the ground. One thing that I find that helps with that is if I allow my knees to bend and just walk it out a little bit. Okay, great job. From here, we're going to drop back into seal pose. And again, just take a minute to breathe here. See if through breathing, we can allow ourselves to loosen up a little bit. Awesome, great job. We're going to hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, push back up into that tabletop position. We're going to do bird dogs from here. So for these, you're going to lift your opposite elbow or opposite hand, opposite leg. So if your left hand is up, your right leg should also be up. And you're just going to switch, allowing yourself to come out, get into that full extension, and then come back. Awesome. You're doing great. If you would like to increase the intensity, you can add a little bit of a squeeze to your glutes at the end of your range of motion. Doing great. Again, make sure we're breathing through this exercise. We're at 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Awesome. From here, go ahead and push back. Allow those hips to drop onto your feet and sink down into child's pose. Allow like I said, allow those hips to fall back and your hands to reach up towards the top of the mat. If it's more comfortable for you, you can spread your knees a little bit further and allow yourself to drop towards the mat a little bit more. Just really allowing that heart to sink towards the mat. Awesome. Great job. Just follow your breath here again, seeing how the chest lifts as you inhale and drops as you exhale. See if as you breathe here, you can stretch a little bit further towards the top of the mat and allow that chest to fall closer to it. Awesome, great job. Go ahead and push up out of here and come on to your back. From here, we're going to do Happy Baby. So for this one, it's one of my favorite personal yoga poses. You're going to come onto your back, bring your knees towards you, allow them to spread out a little bit, and grab your calves. And we're just going to roll from side to side, getting a nice massage in that spine. Again, make sure we're breathing here. If you'd like to increase the intensity instead of grabbing for your calves, you can grab your feet. Awesome. The inside or the outside is fine, whatever is more comfortable for you. I enjoy the outside a little bit more than the inside. It just makes you feel a little more stable. Awesome. Go ahead and allow yourself to roll forwards, backwards. Doing great. Make sure we're breathing through it. You're going to feel a little bit silly in this pose. That's totally okay. You can laugh at yourself. We all look silly doing it, but we look silly doing it together, so it's a little less silly. Okay, from here, go ahead and drop and just go straight into laying on the ground. This is called corpse pose. It's really meant to help focus your body into relaxing. So see if you can drop your spine onto the mat, especially that lower lumbar region. I find that I carry a lot of stress in that region, so laying straight on the ground like this really helps me to relax that region. I find that I carry a lot of tightness in my hips as well, and so having that awareness of the ground allows me to help drop into that. As you're laying here, I'm going to go ahead and bring your attention to your breath. As you inhale, see how it lifts the body. As you exhale, see how it drops it. Great. As you're focusing on this, see if as we breathe, we can drop those shoulders further away from our eardrum, getting into that more relaxed state. See if we can really focus on using our respiratory muscles to breathe instead of our shoulders. If you're breathing with your diaphragm, your shoulders shouldn't move at all. You'll just feel your chest rise and fall. Take a couple of moments and just focus on your body movement. You're doing great. With your next exhale, go ahead and bring your awareness to your body. And we're going to start at the top of the head and scan down. As you scan, see if you find any stiffness or soreness. And as you ping those stiffness or sorenesses, see if that's something that needs to be dealt with right away, or if it's something that needs to be left to time. If it's something that needs to be dealt with right away, go ahead and pause the video and stretch what you need to. If it's something that just needs to be left to time, be aware of it and make sure you're properly treating yourself. Take a few more breaths here, finishing that full body scan, and then bring the awareness back to the breath. Great job. Just really focus on that body and the movement of the breath. Again, going back to what I've been harping on this whole time, see if we can use that movement of the breath to further increase the relaxation of the body. If you're feeling good in this pose, you can go ahead and stop the video and allow yourself to just scan. If not, I'm going to have you go ahead and come back up into a seated position. Take one more time inventory of your body, breathing in and breathing out. See if we can get a nice straight spine. And with this last exhale, I'm going to say goodbye to you. Bye.